Back in the mid-90s, when we started going to the No Regrets conferences, it made such an impact on me, not only about how good the speakers were, but the topic areas that they covered. And I wanted to learn more and be able to share it with other guys.
You go to the mountaintop when you go to a No Regrets conference, but then you go back home. So you go back down into the valley. And so we started small groups, and it's in the small groups where the real significant change happened. I got to really face life, and I got to understand how Jesus did it because I saw the other guys in my small group do it. I learned a lot from them.
And when you're working with these groups and the guys in the groups, certain guys pop to the fore. We give everyone a chance to lead a session from week to week, and then at the end of the, when they complete the studies, we recommend them for leadership role and keep building this so it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
What we get to see is we get to see this multiplication over and over and over again. And you get to see people develop, you get to see people grow. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Yeah. And it's been so fulfilling and rewarding to watch the whole process grow. And when you look back on your life, you say, boy, I participated in something that was very worthwhile.
I went to No Regrets for a couple years with my small group and went with some of the guys from that group. And after being there at No Regrets for a couple years, I decided this is something, my dad needs to come and see. And so the next year, I believe it was 2011, I brought my dad up from Ohio, and we got to experience it for the first time together, and it was just a really impactful day to share together.
So I had to come even to Milwaukee in the wintertime, and I got there and I was blown away by what I saw and what I was hearing. I remember Steve Sonderman was talking at one point, and he was talking about all these host sites around the country, and that how the church had a vision for making this available to churches of all sizes, all communities. And I just saw how this could impact our community. And I thought, boy, I want to learn more about this. When I think back, and there was a group of us just sitting around a table at a restaurant saying, wouldn't it be neat to have a men's event? And now we're getting 150, 160 men every year, and it's growing, and the enthusiasm is growing. And the fact that, by your invitation, even though you're not in our community anymore, you're still helping our community in a great way. It all goes back to God opened a door and we decided to step through it.
Yeah.
One of our guys from the church, Tony, had been to Elmbrook before and went to No Regrets. And in 2006, he said, let's get a bus and take a bunch of men down there. So that began our journey here at Highland. At 4 a.m., we'd meet in the parking lot, tired, but raring to go, grab a donut and a coffee, and away we went.
As well as those around the world.
We came from a fairly large church, but to see all those men together in one time, singing together, it was amazing. For several years, we came down with the bus, and then we had an opportunity to be a host site. That first year, we were a host, and we had about 200 men here at Highland. And from there, 300, 400, and for 3 years in a row, we've had 750 men from 50 churches increasing their walk with the Lord on the first Saturday in February. What happened next was just amazing. We had pastors who were speakers here in other years decided to break off and bring No Regrets to their community. First there was Woodruff, and this year we have Abbotsford, Marshfield, and Plover, all as host sites for No Regrets. It's amazing to see what started here. Just our hosting No Regrets is now brought No Regrets to other communities throughout northern Wisconsin. 8 years and going strong, our Highland team has no regrets.
When I first moved to Germany, I realized I needed to be surrounded by a group of guys, and I knew that I needed to invest time and energy into men's ministry. And it's so interesting to see after the last number of years, the guys are taking off with this. They're meeting in small groups when I was told you'd never get German men to meet. They're too busy. I had Germans telling me that you'll never get German men to sing. And we filled a church up in Porta Westfalica with 400 guys singing at the top of their lungs as part of our No Regrets experience together. And I look now with the No Regrets mini conferences that we've done throughout Germany in places like Bonn and Cologne and Berlin and Hamburg, and the thousands of men that we've been able to reach through conferences like No Regrets and the materials that we've translated. And I can see in our local churches now men meeting in small groups. I can see key men's events being conducted and literally thousands of men that have been reached and become now involved in ministering to one another. What a blessing for Germany, and I thank you guys so much for your continued prayers and encouragement and friendship and support as we work together to help build up the global church.